And welcome back. You are listening to News Talk 990 KTMS. I'm Jeff Green, in for Mayor Helene Schneider this morning. And we are in our third and final segment of 4 this morning, but the third and final with Kathy Murillo, just elected to the Santa Barbara City Council. And Kathy, I realized I was combing through your policy positions here, you know, gonna make you hold to them and tell me what you're gonna do. But I realized we got a few more I want to talk about. But there was a moment on Monday where an announcement went out, actually just over the weekend, that somebody well known to many was coming to town, and at first I thought it was just a visit, and then I thought it was somebody stumping for Kathy Murillo. Now, Dolores Huerta came and did a press conference at Steps City Hall the day before the election. Did you guys just hang out? How did that happen?
Well, she's has connections with Pueblo, the awesome local group that looks out for low-income families and immigrants' rights, and I was endorsed by them. And Dolores and I have had some contact over the years. I've interviewed her. She stood with the news press, illegally fired employees in the plaza, and I interviewed her for that. We also made a video of her. She was advocating for health care for all, and in California, there was a huge health care for all rally in front of Los Angeles City Hall. So this is a woman, got her start with the farm workers movement and Cesar Chavez in the day, and then since then has, you know, evolved into a social justice force, and so, you know, she's moved into environmental justice and, again, healthcare for all. So we asked her to take a look at my candidacy and the situation in Santa Barbara, and she endorsed me, and it was fabulous. And she came on Monday, and we were in De La Guerra Plaza, 50 or so people, and they loved her. And, you know, to be in her presence was so special. She's smart and full of heart, but she's got a spine of steel. And, you know, and you meet people like that, and she's doing so much good in the world. And she's a creator of hope. And that's the feeling that I got when she was there. And she said, "Viva la justicia," and then we yelled "Viva." She said, "Viva Kathy Murillo." I'm still high from that. And then she said, "Viva Cesar Chavez." "Viva," you know, we respond. So my sister was in tears afterwards, you know, and it was really amazing. And not just, it was about me and my candidacy, but it was also an event that we wanted to invigorate the voters. On Monday night, tomorrow's election day, we gave the specifics of the vote by mail election, because by that time you couldn't mail your ballot anymore. You had to walk it into City Hall or these different drop-off centers, and we pounded that over and over in that final weekend. So thank you to Dolores Huerta and all the other people who showed up in the plaza that day. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget that, the honor that she paid me.
Now, in this city, in this day and age, I mean, there's a long history in our region. Agricultural work is a huge part of our economy. The farm workers movements of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, I mean, to this day, certainly Santa Barbara was a significant place for a lot of the work. In the current political climate, having someone like Dolores Huerta, you know, an icon in these movements, stand up for you, and obviously helped get a lot of people's attention, got a lot of folks out to vote. How do you see that from those who might be on the other side of these issues? Does that help you? Does that brand you as this radical, that you're standing up with one of these iconic farm worker activists? What do you anticipate from those who aren't on the team, so to speak?
Well, you know, I try not to be too affected by the really extreme comments that are put at websites at the end of newspaper articles.
Always anonymously, of course.
Yeah, I mean, and some people were calling her a commie, and I mean, I think she has socialist leanings, and somebody might actually argue that healthcare for all is, you know, kind of socialist, and but everybody loves Medicare. Right, so, you know, let's just lower the Medicare age to 26. Anyway.
Can I quote you on that? Is that your latest policy proposal? Yes. We've got Medicare 26.
As I look towards my race for the White House, no, really, Jeff, people will probably not appreciate Dolores Huerta as an endorser, but I did, and I think the 8,000 odd people.
That's actually
voted for me.
You got to memorize this number, sis. It's 8,289.
Oh my goodness.
8,280.
Thank you to everyone who voted for me. And and then Santa Barbara is a small town, right? So we had lunch at Savoy on Figueroa Street right there, and I'm standing out on the street, and people are walking by, recognizing me, and already I felt like Santa Barbara was a small town, and it really is now. But I think that's going to be one of the funnest parts of being on the city council, is just being connected to people like that, just people on the street who come up and talk to me, and I want to hear what their issues are and what their concerns are. So, yeah, I'm transitioning right now, Jeff, from being a candidate to being an elected city council member, and because I'd like to think that I was humble enough not to think I was gonna win. I felt good coming into election day, but now I am preparing myself for the January 10th. I'm sworn in. And then I have a meeting with the city administrator Tuesday morning. So I have a few days here to do a tiny bit of resting and really awesome radio interviews. Yeah, it's all moving. I'm in it now,
and you want it.
And the Chamber of Commerce has asked me to speak to their Government Relations Committee meeting on Thursday morning at 7:30. Good thing I'm a morning person, because that's pretty early for some people.
Brutal.
Yeah, you're funny. So I look forward to being more connected to the business community. And you're right, when you said, a minute ago, you said something about, you represent the whole city, or, you're asking me about the other side of people might not appreciate Dolores Huerta. So I do want to have an open mind to, I have my values, but I'm going to have an open mind when people have opposing views or differing views from maybe what mine are. I think that is the art of policymaking and of being a public servant, that you have an open mind and listen and make decisions that benefit everyone.
Now I have you here this morning because you're the new electee. You're the newest person to the council. Of course, two incumbents also were elected. So the top three vote getters were in order: Dale Francisco, Kathy Murillo here with me today, and Randy Rouse, who was actually a relatively new member appointed to the open seat.
Right.
Have you, and you all, people know that you don't all sit in the same general ideological space, but yet these are folks equally committed at the council level to the policy work that you all have to do. Have you spent time with them talking about the two incumbents who were reelected with you? Since the election day, have you spent any time with either Dale Francisco or Randy Rouse?
Well, the first thing I want to say is that, what was happening in the forums was there was 10 of us. And then after election day, there was 3 of us. And then really a lot of the media attention was on me because I was the newcomer. Right. So Wednesday was an incredible day of media and public scrutiny, which I enjoyed, but I'm just telling you, it was a really big switch from Tuesday to Wednesday, from being one of 10 to being this one person in the spotlight. And, I appreciate that people wanted to know who I am, etc. But I did actually spend a lot of time with Dale Francisco and Randy Rouse in the forums. And of course, I was engaged in the city council doings before that. So, yes, I feel like I know them. They were complete gentlemen during the process of, campaigning. I think I was too. I mean, we did sometimes barb each other a little bit during the forums. I'd say, well, I think I disagree with you, Mr. Francisco and Ms. Murillo. So, but everybody was polite. And so I think, there was no issue. And then on election night, we were walking back to our car from my party, and we were walking by the Paradise Cafe, and Randy Rouse was in there and Dale Francisco, and so I said, okay, you guys, we're going to go in there and we're going to congratulate them. So we went in, and it was 12:30, and we were like worn to the bone, right? 12:30 on election night. And I shook their hands, and I said, I look forward to working with you. They were very nice, and so I think we're off to a good start. I will say that Michael Self called me. I haven't called her back yet because I've been slammed. She called me to congratulate me and tell me, I guess you're going to take my office. I'm going to leave my budget books in there and some other stuff. What a nice woman. So I'm completely glad, that, yes, I think we're on our way to good relations.
You're off to a good start. You're listening to News Talk 990 KTMS. I'm Jeff Green, pinch hitting for Mayor Helene Schneider. We're with Kathy Murillo. Thank you, Kathy, for joining us this morning. Newly elected to the City Council.
Oh, thank you.
That's the outro music.
Thank you.